Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling fully alive, unstoppable, and completely in charge of your day. What if I told you that the secret to extraordinary days, not just once in a while, but every single day, isn't about luck, opportunity, or waiting for the perfect moment? It's about mastering a mindset, a series of intentional choices that define your life. Today, I want to take you on a journey through 12 simple yet powerful principles that the greatest minds and leaders throughout history have lived by. Principles that will allow you to navigate chaos with calm, to turn challenges into triumphs, and to wake up every morning knowing that your day is already yours to conquer. These aren't just rules, they are your blueprint to living each day with clarity, strength, and purpose. By the time we finish, you won't just be inspired, you'll be ready to act, to transform every ordinary day into a masterpiece, and to claim the life you were meant to live. This is your moment. Are you ready to step into it? If you want, I can also craft the full speech for all 12 rules in this same high-energy motivational style so it's ready for recording or presentation. The first and most powerful principle to transform your day is understanding that the lens through which you view the world determines everything you experience. Every single moment carries the potential for joy, growth, and opportunity. But most people walk through life trapped in the default mindset of frustration, fear, and limitation. Perspective is not just a way of thinking, it is the foundation upon which every decision, action, and emotion is built. When you wake up in the morning and the world feels chaotic or unfair, remember that the events themselves are neutral. They are not inherently good or bad. It is your interpretation of them, your mental narrative, that gives them power. The people who achieve the most, who thrive even in the hardest conditions, are not those with the easiest circumstances. They are those who have learned to control how they perceive their reality. They see setbacks as lessons, criticism as guidance, and obstacles as opportunities to innovate, adapt, and grow stronger. This isn't a passive exercise. It is a deliberate choice, a commitment to refuse to let external chaos dictate your internal state. When you embrace this mindset, your energy shifts. You stop wasting precious time and motion reacting to things outside your control. You start asking the question, how can I use this moment to grow? How can I turn this situation into something that serves me? This is the mental muscle that separates those who complain from those who create, those who drift from those who dominate, those who feel powerless from those who feel unstoppable. Perspective also influences the way you interact with others. When you see the world through a lens of possibility, compassion, and curiosity, relationships improve, communication becomes clearer, and your ability to inspire and lead increases exponentially. Every decision becomes more intentional because you are no longer reacting from fear or limitation. You are responding from clarity, purpose, and control. The reality is that life will never hand you a perfect day, a perfect circumstance, or a perfect set of people. There will always be stress, conflict, and unpredictability. But the difference between a life of constant struggle and a life of fulfillment is this: those who master their perspective understand that happiness, success, and freedom are not found in external conditions. They are found in the way they choose to interpret those conditions, in the narrative they create in their mind, and in the meaning they assign to every single moment they live. One of the most liberating truths you can ever internalize is that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can absolutely control how you respond to it. Life is unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Situations will challenge you, and unexpected obstacles will appear at every turn. But your reaction, your choice to respond with clarity, strength, or calm is always within your power. Most people give their power away the moment they allow frustration, anger, or fear to dictate their actions. They let their emotions hijack their decisions, and they wonder why their days feel out of control, why their results never match their potential. The moment you realize that your reactions are yours alone is the moment freedom begins. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing consciously how you show up, regardless of the external chaos around you. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm and choosing to remain calm, centered, and intentional rather than panicking and reacting impulsively. That is mastery. That is strength. When you consistently respond instead of react, you reclaim hours of wasted energy and transform challenges into opportunities. Every problem becomes a chance to practice patience, resilience, and focus. Every confrontation becomes an opportunity to communicate with clarity and integrity. This principle extends beyond moments of difficulty. It applies to daily interactions, to decisions under pressure, and even to the way you perceive feedback, setbacks, or criticism. By embracing control over your reactions, you stop giving away your emotional power to circumstances and start directing it toward what actually matters: your growth, your results, and your ability to create the life you want. People will always act in ways you cannot predict. Markets will fluctuate, plans will change, and life will throw curveballs. But you can train yourself to respond with deliberate thought and unwavering calm. You can turn potential triggers into moments of strength, moments of focus, moments where you reinforce the narrative that nothing external has the power to steal your clarity, your purpose, or your energy. When you make this principle a habit, the impact is profound. Stress diminishes, relationships improve, productivity skyrockets, and the quality of every single day rises because you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. Every challenge becomes manageable, every frustration becomes temporary, and every moment carries the potential for mastery and growth. Daily discipline is the invisible force that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who hope from those who dominate, and those who live ordinary lives from those who live extraordinary ones. It's not about grand gestures or occasional bursts of effort. It's about showing up consistently every single day with intention and commitment, even when you don't feel like it. Think about the people you admire most, the leaders, innovators, and champions. What sets them apart is not luck or talent alone. It is the small, deliberate choices they make day in and day out. They understand that extraordinary results are the sum of tiny, disciplined actions repeated relentlessly over time. Every morning they decide to take control of their focus, their energy, and their priorities rather than surrendering to distraction, procrastination, or fleeting motivation. Discipline is what turns a chaotic, reactive life into a life of purpose and momentum. It's what allows you to tackle your goals with clarity, maintain consistency in your habits, and rise above the noise of excuses and external pressures. Without discipline, knowledge, ideas, and ambition remain dormant. With discipline, even the smallest steps compound into exponential growth. Imagine waking up each day and committing to your standards, to the principles that define your best self. Whether it's dedicating time to learn, to exercise, to plan, or to take action on your most important priorities, daily discipline ensures that progress is inevitable no matter how challenging the circumstances. Discipline also builds confidence and resilience. When you consistently do what you say you will do, when you push through resistance and keep showing up, you reinforce your belief in your own capabilities. You begin to trust yourself, and that trust becomes the foundation for bigger goals, bolder moves, and higher levels of achievement. Life will test you. There will be days when temptation, fatigue, or distraction calls louder than your commitment. Those are the days that define you, because discipline isn't built when it's easy. It's forged in moments of resistance and choice. By making daily discipline a non-negotiable part of your life, you create a framework where excellence is habitual, where momentum becomes unstoppable, and where each day contributes to the extraordinary life you are capable of living. Small, consistent actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they shape your identity, elevate your potential, and transform ordinary days into a life of remarkable achievement, the ability to be fully present in practice. Gratitude is one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate, yet it is often overlooked in a world full of distractions, noise, and endless demands. Most people rush through their days consumed by the past or anxious about the future, and they miss the richness of the moment they're actually living. The truth is, happiness, fulfillment, and clarity are never found in some far-off tomorrow. They exist here and now, in the choices you make and the awareness you bring to each experience. Gratitude is not just a polite reflection or fleeting thought. It is a mindset that transforms ordinary life into something extraordinary. When you train yourself to focus on what you already have, to acknowledge the blessings, lessons, and opportunities present in every situation, you shift your internal state from scarcity and frustration to abundance and possibility. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to see value, growth, and meaning even in the difficult moments. Presence is the companion to gratitude. It is the act of fully engaging with your reality, giving your attention to what is happening now rather than being trapped in regrets or worries. When you are truly present, you notice opportunities that others miss. You experience deeper connections with people around you, and your decisions become clearer because you are responding from awareness rather than distraction. The people who achieve the most and feel the most alive are masters of presence. They understand that every thought, every word, and every action carries weight, and they intentionally direct their energy toward what truly matters. Gratitude amplifies this effect because it trains your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack, on solutions rather than problems, on growth rather than stagnation. This practice has a ripple effect on every area of life. Your mood improves, your resilience strengthens, your relationships deepen, and your capacity to perform at your best skyrockets. By combining gratitude and presence, you create a mental environment where stress diminishes, creativity flourishes, and challenges are no longer threats, but invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more resourceful. Every moment becomes an opportunity to practice this mindset, to center yourself, to recognize the value in what you have, and to fully inhabit the life you are living, knowing that the richness of existence is never in the things you chase, but in the awareness and appreciation you bring to the world as it unfolds before you. Resilience is the defining quality that separates those who are crushed by adversity from those who rise stronger, wiser, and more determined each time life pushes back. Every person faces challenges, unexpected setbacks, failures, disappointments, and obstacles that feel insurmountable, but it is not the presence of difficulty that determines your success. It is how you respond to it. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is a skill you build, a mindset you cultivate, and a habit you strengthen through deliberate practice. When you learn to view obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities, everything changes. Each challenge becomes a classroom, each failure a lesson, and each difficulty a stepping stone toward mastery. Life will test your patience, your courage, and your commitment, and in those tests, you discover what you are truly made of. Resilient people understand that pain, struggle, and setbacks are not punishments. They are essential parts of growth, opportunities to refine character, sharpen focus, and expand capability. They refuse to be defined by circumstances or limited by fear, disappointment, or criticism. Instead, they adapt, persevere, and find ways to thrive even when the odds seem stacked against them. This mindset transforms pressure into fuel, challenges into motivation, and fear into clarity. The process of building resilience also teaches you the importance of perspective, discipline, and presence. When you cultivate mental strength, you are no longer reactive to every twist of fate. You face adversity with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools to recover, learn, and move forward. Resilience also deepens gratitude and appreciation because it allows you to see the value in struggle, the hidden lessons, the strength gained, and the insight earned. When challenges come, as they inevitably will, resilient individuals respond with intention rather than panic, with focus rather than distraction, and with courage rather than hesitation. This ability transforms ordinary people into leaders, ordinary setbacks into extraordinary comebacks, and ordinary days into opportunities to grow stronger, bolder, and more capable. Every moment of difficulty becomes a chance to practice this principle, to embrace discomfort as the training ground for greatness, and to recognize that the strongest, most successful people are not those who avoid adversity, but those who face it head on, rise above it, and use it to propel themselves toward a life of unstoppable momentum and achievement.